Hey, how's it going today? It's Frankie and here with Random Movie Mondays. This movie is called The Orphans. Now, it wasn't what I was intentionally meant to watch. I was meant to watch a movie called Blitz with Jason Statham in it because that movie's going to leave Prime tomorrow. But as soon as I put it on, there was a 3-minute advert. And there's different adverts. I don't think it was just like different adverts in one. It definitely I don't think it was one advert in just like 3 minutes. That's really impossible. It was basically like 3 ads in 3 minutes. I wasn't gonna wait just to go see the ads go by. I should just be able to watch the movie and then actually see ads, like 30-second ads or just over a minute ads. But wait 3 minutes, right? If I could waste. I mean, I know I've got Prime free until like 13th of next month, but I ain't gonna wait that long. So I decided to, go back on Netflix and watch The Orphans. And this movie, to me, it looked good by the trailer, and I thought it was going to be a good movie. I don't think it was as good as the trailer made out to be. So basically it's about these 2 guys. These are 2 childhood friends, and they were orphans. Hence why the title's called Orphans. So you have the guy called Gabriel, and you have another guy called Driss. And they're like childhood friends. One's a police officer, one got involved with crime, or whatever it is. And so they have to help Layla out because Layla's mum passed away in a car accident. The car accident looked kind of suspicious. Although this movie wasn't clear on certain things, especially about Layla's dad. It's either Gabriel or Driss because they were with Sophia, who is Layla's mum, last. So that wasn't clear to me. I'll get into that towards the ending because it wasn't mentioned. But not really much to talk about that part because she still didn't know who her dad is. But let me just break down the movie. So basically a car accident happens. I've skipped past the very start of it because that's not the most important. And then she's in a car with her mum and the car just sort of flips over or whatever it is, and someone caused the crash. And someone called Mateus who sees them, and he just has to go in his car. And she's sort of, later on in the movie, she sort of looks for vengeance because she finds her mum has passed away, while she was in a coma. And so she takes Gabriel. You don't see her take Gabriel's gun, but Gabriel left his gun behind. She takes it. This is the most silliest thing she can do. This caused what is going to happen later in the movie. She goes to the place where Mateus lives and confronts him, and then she sees like his mum, Christina, and she sort of doesn't let her escape. It's like she knows that she was the cause of the crash, even though she wasn't necessarily there. But it's almost like she was planning for it to happen, just the way she didn't want to let Layla leave. She could do it with anybody. And then she goes back, and then this is where it triggers like a bit of action to happen, right? The start of it had action, the start of this movie, but I didn't know what the hell was going on at the start of it. So they, they go, they drive. They go to like this boat, and this is where they want to keep her, but then they go back off again for some reason. And then this is where they start to get jumped because, Gabriel and Driss wants to take her somewhere, and they have to ditch the car. And then this is where like some chaos ensues. I can't remember what order this movie was in. I think it was this order. I think this happened afterwards. I think they'll bear in mind the 2 guys also had an altercation at Christina's house where they told her just to ask her questions, and she said that we're not, but once we get her later, that's objective, that's it, if it's all done, type of thing. I thought there was a bit of a fight there. There was a little bit, but it wasn't that much. And they're sort of seen here with this sort of like where Layla gets taken from Gabriel and Driss's car. And this is a good part in the movie. This is what makes the movie good, is this part right here. Even though the movie ain't good itself, I kind of like these scenes. It needed it to kickstart a bit. And I swear the same, before I go into that scene, I swear the actor that played Gabriel, did he act in Lost Bullet? Did he play Lino in Lost Bullet? Because they look the same. I'm going to have to search that up later. I'm pretty sure that there's a correlation between them. I'll check anyway. But onto the scene. This scene is this is good in this movie. A good fight scene. explosion at the end, and it's just a bit chaotic, especially in the van that Leia's kidnapped in and taken hostage in, or whatever you want to call it. And you see like Driss is a bit irresponsible, a bit reckless doing it. He jumps in the van, and then that's when Gabrielle comes with a car. It gets a bit haywire. I'm not going to mention too much of that scene. You can watch it for yourself. That's a not bad scene right there. And then when they think that they are safe, a guy called Jonas, I thought he was Christina's husband. I don't think so. I think he's part of security, or part of some sort of like he's part of like the type of whatever you want to call them. And he just wants to go look for the gun. He sees them on a boat, and I think they put a phone in her jacket, because in an earlier scene, Gabrielle threw Leia's phone to the water. So I don't really know. I mean, it's in the harbour scene anyway. I think it was the harbour, wherever it was. Yeah, so they must have planted for inside, because they kind of knew this was going to happen, kind of thing. So yeah, and then they start getting chased by the cars, and they know they're getting ambushed again. So they go into this building. The gunfire, the start of this scene is brilliant. Shooting here and there in this like abandoned, like, I wouldn't say abandoned, but it's getting done up, and there's scaffolding everywhere. And yeah, a great scene. And Jonas just comes and he sort of shoots a propane tank, I think it is, and it just sort of explodes. And that's when you see That's when you see Gabrielle and Driss just there, and they have to keep it together here. And that's when you see Jonas just sort of take Layla, and that's when more dudes. So that's when there was like 2 extra dudes that come up to try and finish them off, but Driss was the one that wakes up first, and he starts shooting at them, and more fighting comes in. This like determination, because of the way Driss was really being quick with it. And this is the part as well, after Gabrielle wakes up, he sort of jumps down, and after like Jonas puts Layla in the car, this is where they start to fight him. This is what sometimes like strong mentality and muscle can help do for you. It can actually make you tough being outnumbered, even though that's a bit unrealistic. But they tried, he beat them both up at first. He was winning, but then Layla comes in, sort of has a crowbar or whatever she has, whacks him, hits him. She's a good fighter though. Definitely one of those guys has to be a dad, surely, with fighting skills like that. So yeah, so hits him, whacks him, and that was like, there's no way Jonas is going to survive this. There's absolutely no way he's going to survive. Then Justin Gabrielle sorts of punches and beats him up, and really goes at him, goes to town him by punching, but not bad fight scene here. And then that's when Gabrielle finished him off with the rope, ties the rope, strong to him, and yeah, basically they won him out. They took away all his energy and won him out. There was no way he's going to survive that. 3 people. It wasn't even just 2. I mean, Layla comes and starts to attack him. There was no way he was going to survive. If he wouldn't have had a gun, I don't think he would have survived any of that. So yeah, they finish him off, and you'd think, okay, it's all over. And then I think Christina comes with a gun and shoots Driss and Gabrielle, but she didn't. Well, I don't think she was intended to kill him. She just wanted to shoot him. And yeah, she spoke to Leia, talked about her son, and how her son was suffering, and Leia doesn't know her son, blah blah. Because Leia did come in and threaten her son, right, saying he was part of the accident. But then she acted as if she actually cares and gets all sympathetic. Don't know why. Was Christina part of the crash? I have no idea. Excuse me, I think I burped there, so sorry. And then police sort of comes in. The police always comes late in these sort of movies. Every time they come late, as soon as everything's been done. They could have been there. Everything would have been prevented otherwise. And yeah, she got arrested, I would assume so. And then the end of what we're going to talk about. But she does say, there's a funny part she says, she calls both of them dad. And they didn't know which one she was referring to. So that's all I want to talk about. There's a character named Fanny in this, by the way. I was going to mention it, but I'm not too sure. Because it's a bit funny, because Fanny was the one looking after Layla. Don't get twisted, YouTube, that is a name. For everybody else out there, I know you're going to laugh, but that is her name. That is one of the characters' names in this movie. But yeah, so few things in this one. The storyline wasn't quite clear to me because I read that it was a suspicious car accident. How? I don't I don't understand. I mean, I thought she was gonna get kidnapped in that car accident. That's what I'm confused about. There was not, she didn't get kidnapped then, but they wanted to kidnap her because she kind of broke in and trespassed. So it's weird. It's just a bit of a reckless type of storyline. To be fair, if she never done that, I don't think she would have got kidnapped regardless. But what is the point of that car crash? What was the reason for it? We never get to find out why. Did they want to kill Sophia? I don't know. I mean, did they want to kidnap her from the start? But could it because Matthias was there? I don't know. And the fact that we still don't know who her dad was, they could have done DNA test, but but they didn't. That would have made sense for them to do that. So that's what confused me in this movie. The acting didn't convince me enough, but I still think it's not a bad movie. It's between average and 7, average and decent. I was gonna give it a 5, but this has a bit more credit for the action scenes. It interested me a little bit, but then the storyline kind of really messed up in this movie. And the fact there's 2 people that can fight, I know Layla can, but talking about the 2 dudes, they were the main ones that could fight. They should have been a heck of a lot more enemies. I'm saying heck in over the top way. I've seen a lot more enemies go after one protagonist, especially in Hitman movies. I know he's not Hitman, it's a totally different scenario. But in like movies like this, but then when there's 2 protagonists like this, there's less enemies. They could have had a lot more people. So for 2 people, like, they got the job done slightly quicker than it would be with just one person, because it made more sense. One person deal with more people, whereas these 2 don't have to do as much enemies as I've seen when it comes to one protagonist. So there could have been a lot of things that they could have done more in this movie. Maybe her actual dad, maybe there was a clue somewhere in the movie, I don't know. I was thinking it could be Driss, because Driss and have similarities, basically. But it could be Gabrielle, but Gabrielle, I didn't think developed that enough of a bond or a connection with Layla to be at that. But it could be it could be his personality. That's why I think Driss is probably more her dad than Gabrielle. But they should have done DNA test to find out. That made no sense to me. I thought Fanny would have known that. I thought there would have been some sort of information somewhere. They didn't do that. So whoever made this movie needs to be way more clear on a few things. Because no point of having that car crash if we don't know the reason for it. Because there's always reasons in these sort of movies as to why those things happen. But yeah, her storming into a place she shouldn't have. I guess she wanted to, avenge her mom's death, but that was kind of a reckless thing to do. So the fact that she got away easily surprised me, because people in that situation would have been kidnapped. So that's the thing I don't understand. That was very reckless. That everything else could have been prevented if she didn't go into that building and just start trespassing. She did commit a crime. She would have got arrested anyway. But yeah, I don't know what else to say. This for me was alright. I wouldn't recommend it. I didn't think there was much things that convinced me. I think if they had more action scenes and storylines were more clearer, it would have been an 8 at least. Or possibly a 9. It could have been a 9 if there was a more of a clear storyline and more, even better acting and more action. It would have been a 9. It probably would have been 9 or 10 if they had that. If they had like one clear storyline, I would have been like, okay, probably give it an 8. Or they had one or 2 more scenes of action, would have given an 8. But there's only 2 scenes of action. That's not a proper action movie. It should be really crazy throughout. So yeah, I don't know why on too much anyway. Rating for this is pretty simple. Give this a 7. I understand that people might give this a 5 or 6. I was gonna give it a 6, but I thought there's some good parts I like in the movie. So I'm letting this one off. I'll give this one a 7. It's between 5 and 7. So yeah, I'm going to what I think it should be, and it should be a 7. I don't think I'm going to recommend this movie. So like I said, improvements, better storyline, better acting, and more action. That's it. That's all it needed, and it would have been a near perfect action movie. Maybe perfect. We don't know. Guess you would never know because it didn't pan out that way. But yeah, that's it for this video. 7 out of 10 is. If you enjoyed the video, please give it a like, comment, share, subscribe, hit the notification below. Just see you in the next video.